they shipped their cattle to Chicago and Denver. You know, they showed them, they would show them at times at the Denver and that, but they'd ship them to the Chicago market too. You know.
How did Mr. Lemley get involved in this?
Well, when we closed the plant, I said, "What are we going to do with the land, Jerry?" And he said, "I don't know." He said, "I suppose sell it." He said, "It isn't going to be worth much." And I said, "Well, why don't you and I buy it, and we can raise hogs and cattle." And there was, at that time, there was about 30, 40 acres of farmland down there on the bottom, see?
Yeah.
And Hobby Lobby is right over there. And I said we could form a partnership, and I said, you and I said we get Larry Lemley in it. We both knew him, and he was a friend of ours. And the three of us would own it, and then he'd be around to know how to manage the livestock part. And so that's what we did. And we went to, Jerry went to Dick and asked him what he thought about the value of the land and everything. And
Dick who?
Dick Schnurr. And he was the one that represented all the other half of the deal. And so they arrived at a figure of $30,000. So that's what we paid for all of it, and it included a pickup truck and all the remaining inventory and an old lift truck and stuff like that. So we got a real good deal. But bear in mind at that time the pickup truck that we had was fairly new, and we bought it. It was like less than $3,000, $2,200 or something like that, $2,500, $2,700. Anyway, we bought it, and with the land over on the other side of the river that was clay pit and stuff, we sold that land off after a year or so. It was a real liability because some of it was filling in, and there was a big deep pond over there, like gravel pits get deep. Well, that's what was starting to happen there, and we didn't want the responsibility of the liability of it. Kids going over there and drowning and then suing us, And so there was a guy who wanted it, and we sold the whole thing to him. Sold it to him fairly reasonable because there was a little bit of cropland and a house down on the bottom that a guy rented. Didn't pay a lot of rent for. It wasn't much of a house. But anyway, we got rid of the whole thing, and all the land over on that side, there was a little bit of land in Colville and stuff. And we got enough out of that to pay off the $30,000 that we borrowed to buy the thing. So when we got that sold, then we owned the whole thing, didn't have any debt other than what we borrowed to raise the hogs. Well, we got to raising hogs, and we were doing pretty good, and then the guy stole the hogs from us, and so we just decided after that, if there wasn't somebody going to be living down there, we shouldn't be raising hogs. So we got out of the hog business, and we sold crushed brick and stuff for tracks. And that's what happened to a lot of the building there, that when we tore those down, they crushed them and made crushed brick and stuff out of it, and that we sold for athletic tracks,
Mm-hmm.
running tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also sold a lot of the broken brick and stuff that had accumulated, and we sold that for fill.
Uh-huh.
That was made awful good fill under parking lots and driveways and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we sold a lot of it that way, and then eventually that ran out, and that was about 10 years worth. And so after that, then the highway came through, and we put what ground we had in CRP for 10 years, and then when it came out, after that 10 years, we went back to farming what there was of it, and I rented that to Tom Officeweiler, and in the meantime, we had rented the feedlot and some land to Norman Mundy, who farmed up there, and so we got some income off the land that way. But it was the kind of things that we did to try and generate some income off of it, and with nobody living down there that had an interest in the property,
Can't keep it up.
you couldn't provide the security to
Right.
have a viable livestock operation.
Right.
And so that, and there wasn't any of us that wanted to put the intensive labor into it that it would take to raise Christmas trees or
Right.
vegetables or something like that.
Right.
So that was the way it was, and that was the way we did it. And then Larry died in '85, and Jerry died in '95, and then it was just me and the two ladies, and what income we got from selling the broken stuff and a little bit, and what we got from CRP or renting the land to somebody to farm it. So we haven't made a lot of money on it, and it's gone up a little bit in value, but not a whole lot in the last 10 years, 15 years. And so they've been wanting to sell it for the last 10 years, and I've kind of dragged my feet on it, frankly.
Yeah.
But they wanted to sell it. They really wanted to. So
Yeah.
that's where we're at. We got the offer, and
Yeah.
supposed to close on the 13th of January.